And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of Culturally Conscious Communications here on LIV Radio, LIV TV, here on livinginblack.com. My name is Kedia Wato, aka the Conscious Rasta. Weekday mornings, you and I get together live. We come at you with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Sunday. No, it's not Sunday. It is Thursday. It is the 24th day of April, 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 in the Kemetic calendar, to which we realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the seventh millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place, sir, on LIB Radio, LIB TV, here on livinginblack.com. Here's what we have for today's show, and I hope you do enjoy it. I will make a confession right off the top of this show. I love to eat. I love it. I will admit it. I love to eat. In my perfect world, I would eat every day. I'd wake up in the morning and get right to it. I would eat throughout the day. I would eat until I was full, and then I might just keep on eating. I would invite people to my home to share these delicious meals that I prepare. What can I say? I love it. I love to eat. So that's what we have on the table for today here on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. Kitty's confessing he loves to eat. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So we go forward into this topic. What I will do is welcome each and every one of you to join the conversation. If you want to speak out, make yourself known. That's always enjoyable. We love hearing from you. And I bet you, you love to eat as well. I love it. I love it. So we're going to go right into today's topic. I am going to kind of break the pattern here and return to the new book. Yeah, Kitty's at it again. I just got my latest book in the mail, well, actually delivered yesterday morning. Now, it was about 2 or 3 days late in delivery as me and the printer went back and forward about the cover. I wanted a cover on the book. They were not going to print it, so I just relented and gave in to them and printed my cover as they wanted to print it. It wasn't a matter of censoring or anything. It was a matter of I wanted the cover jacked sideways and spilling off the sides of the front pages. And they said, no, we're not going to print it that way. The algorithm won't allow it. So I say, well, I want the book out. And nobody other than me and my imagination will know it, except for the people who ordered the ebook or the Kindle book. We'll see that there's a difference between the two covers. With those, I could print the cover that I wanted, but with the print edition, they would not allow it, and I was tired of going back and forth. So we got the book out. That one is entitled A Year Against Cancer, and I'm very, very proud of that book. That book is dense, but it is readable. I also bought 2 books this past week. And I love the books, I love the themes, I love the titles, but doggone it, they're hard to read because I use techniques to break up the pages, to make the pages flow one after another, make them easy to read, and you can always put it down and pick it back up. But these other ones, they have long, long paragraphs, no anchor points, and quite simply, your books are hard to read. If you've never read any of my books, you don't know what I mean. But if you have read at least one of my books, then you are aware that my books are easy to read. And also, this persistent problem I happen in one of the books, I have it over here today, is that you make your text too small. For those of us who are over age 60, who don't want to have to pull out reading glasses, please make your text just a little bit bigger. I say greetings to you, my beloved sister for Africa One. You are here bright and early, right at the top of the show. And I know you, among everyone else, are going to love today's show. And I say greetings to you, beloved sister for Africa One. And here is what we're going to talk about today. Well, I already introduced the show, so let me just go right into the text and let me talk about I love to eat. To many people in our begin this chapter of this, I believe, I began this chapter of chapter 7, I should say, with the following quote. And this one comes to you from me, from the book Fade to Black. Too many people in our society have resigned to poor health as if it were the inevitability of aging or perhaps the supreme will of a divine creator. What people must realize is that chronic illness is the return on investment over a lifetime of impoverishing lifestyle choices. Impoverishing lifestyle choices. That's the return on investment, is poor health. So right off the bat, I say, don't do what I say. Do what I do. Don't do what I say. Do what I do. Let's go into this topic. I will admit it. I love to eat. In my perfect world, I would eat every day. I would wake up in the morning and get right to it. I would eat throughout the day. I would eat until I was full. I would invite people to my home to share these delicious meals. What can I say? I love to eat. I love breakfast. I've got to say that I've got to say that I like oatmeal. I would fix myself a big pot of oatmeal. I would include an apple in it, stewed up nice with lots of cinnamon on it. I would add the raisins next. Let them stew up well in the fruity mix. Then I would add the oatmeal with some ginger powder into it to give it just a little kick. Before removing it from the heat, I would add some chopped walnuts and a little bit of coconut oil. I would serve all of this up in a bowl into which I had cut up about a half a banana. I would top all of this with some fresh blueberries and a good sprinkling of turbinado sugar, which is made from evaporated cane juice, or perhaps I would add a generous portion of wild desert honey. Now that's a breakfast. It's healthy, has all the components of a good start to the day, and it is a great way to fill your belly with something hot to start the day. Yeah, I love to eat. I love to eat. But I don't eat until afternoon. You see, I engage in what is called intermittent fasting. That is where one doesn't eat for an extended period of each day and restricts their eating to a certain set of hours daily. For me, that means beginning to eat at noon and completing all of my meals and completing all of my eating at 6 p.m. That is a total of 18 hours on and 18 hours of not eating, confining all of my nutrient uptake to a mere 6 hours. I love to eat. So that beautiful breakfast that I described earlier, well, technically that's lunch now. So lunch is now an early dinner, and sometimes it's my major meal of the day, depending on whether or I eat twice or 3 times a day. And I know I love that I've got to eat fruit every day. I've got to eat fruit every day. So in addition to the apples, blueberries, and banana that I enjoyed for breakfast, which is now lunch, I will likely opt for an apple or an orange or both for today's afternoon delight. There are so many other fresh fruits that I love as well. Dried apricots, prunes. Yeah, that humble little poop assistant is high on my list. Figs when they are in season. All types of melons, especially my dehydrated watermelon, which many people say reminds them of candy. I will, from time to time, make a fruit salad. It is undoubtedly one of my favorites. Into a large stainless steel bowl, I'll add, I'll cut up a cup of dark colored grapes. I'll cut them in half. I'll put in about a cup of melon chunks, whatever is in best season at that time. You got all kind of melons. You have honeydew melon, cantaloupe, exotic melons, sometimes with Spanish surnames. I love to eat, and I love my melons. I'll put into this some kiwi slices, an apple cut into chunks, some dates, peaches or nectarines, bananas, papaya or pawpaw if I'm in Africa or Jamaica, or a dozen others of my favorite fruits. And then I'll drizzle them all in lime juice. What a treat. I'll generally make a good size portion of this mixed fruit salad with, of course, some walnuts in it, so that I'll have an option there waiting for me to splurge upon whenever I want a hearty snack. I'll remind you, I love to eat. I love to eat. And then again, there are the fruits that are seasonal or tropical in their access. I love them too. Pomegranates, passion fruit, pears, persimmons, pineapple, plantain, pumpkins, and that's just the peas. I'll eat them all. I'm making myself hungry right now, just thinking about all of this, except it's only 7:39 a.m. I won't be eating for at least another 4 hours and 29 minutes. But oh, I'm going to eat today because I love to eat. I love it. Then, of course, comes the main dish of the day. Last night, I made a big pot of moringa stew. Oh my goodness, big pot. It was and still is awesome. What? You've never heard of moringa? Carrie Fernandez, CNHC, likes this root too. And she wrote about moringa for an article entitled My Big Fat Grain Free Life. And here is what she had to say. Malanga, which I earlier called moringa, also referred to as yautia or cocoyam, is a tuber, which is a type of root vegetable that is a staple in Cuban cuisine, Caribbean cuisine, Southeast Asia, and dishes in South America, Central America, Africa, and other tropical areas and parts of the world. The malanga plant, also known as the elephant ear plant due to its large green leaves, thrives in tropical areas regardless of soil type. This starchy vegetable makes a great nightshade free potato substitute and can be used in a variety of recipes such as mashed fall potatoes, hash browns, stews, and my favorite, arepas. That is malanga. Going forward, if I were asked what malanga taste was like, I would have to point out that the texture of this delicious tuber, it has a smooth, chewy texture and carries a great deal of the bliss factor as you devour it. And devour it, I will do today for lunch. I love stews and I love soups. I make them quite frequently, including one of my favorites. That is, I should say, when I'm eating cooked food, I will make a stew. One of my favorites is called clean out the refrigerator soup. Basically, it's that point when I'm one day away from going shopping at my favorite Hispanic owned grocery store. I became a fan of going to these stores while living in Southern California for about 30 years. Wednesday at my favorite Hispanic supermarket is fruits and vegetables day at the market. And I can get the best prices among anyone else I know except for Brother Jamal. He and I used to go on Wednesdays to Fruit and Vegetable Day until we started going to the farmers market for Fruits and Vegetable Day, which was still a little bit better of a deal, but it was very close. It's also the place where I can get malanga, hibiscus, which the Mexicans call Jamaica, and papaya, also known as pawpaw. I'll be honest with you, I'm getting hungry right now, just thinking about the food that I love to eat. So tomorrow will be a day to clean out the refrigerator. It will be quite a feast. As last week, I kind of went nuts on fruits and vegetables. I got a load of food in the refrigerator that needs to be inside my belly. I've got carrots. These need to be turned into carrot juice. I'll combine that with freshly juiced apples, lemon, and ginger. And this is the most delicious apple, carrot, lemon, ginger juice. Undeniably. Love it, love it, love it. With the pulp left over from the carrots, I'll blend that with some rehydrated hijiki seaweed. I'll add some chopped up celery, onion, and bell pepper, and give a generous dollop of veganaise, along with a smidgen of black pepper and veganaise, or black pepper and Italian herbs. This will all make up the wonderful vegan dish, which we call untuna, one of our favorite, all-time favorites. I can take that untuna and wrap it in nori wraps. And with that untuna wrapped in nori wraps, I can now turn that into untuna sushi. That's pretty neat, ain't it? And then last week, I know I bought a bunch of kale. The kale was on sale. Kale on sale. Oh my goodness. Why was it on sale? Because the new kale season is now just coming into ripeness. And so the kale producers have a lot of kale. They had two big, beautiful bunches of kale on sale for $1. Oh my goodness. So I bought four big, beautiful bunches of kale, of which I probably still have about two of them available. So me and that kale, we got a date with destiny for today. I have this extra kale in the refrigerator, which is begging me, just begging me to blend it up with some creamy cashew cheese, which is a concoction made of soaked and drained cashew nuts, blended up with some lemon juice, a tiny bit of sea salt, a couple of cloves of garlic, and an ounce of extra light virgin olive oil, Popeye's girlfriend. So I add that Along with a little bit of olive oil and cider vinegar, I'll add directly to the kale before merging these two together. That way, the kale looks like it's been cooked, but it is raw. It has the texture and the taste, or has the texture of cooked kale, but it has the taste of raw kale, which is to me the best way that kale can be eaten. So I add a little bit of olive oil and cider vinegar to the kale before blending up this dish. It softens up the tough texture. You'll swear that the kale was cooked, but we were there during the process. We know it was not cooked. Beets. I got some fresh beets in the refrigerator that needs to be turned into something tasty today. What will it be for these tasty and delicious beets? Will it be coleslaw made with grated beets, grated carrots, chayote, veganaise, a little bit of a little bit of pepper, and perhaps a tablespoon of black sesame seeds? Or perhaps my famous beets and carrot salad, grated with a little bit of fresh ginger and a generous sprinkle of black pepper. I got to make that decision soon, and make it soon because my garden is now coming into bloom right now. Yesterday was the first day of the new harvest. I have a salad made from the garden. Within days, that will become an everyday experience as I have ample supplies of kale, chard, lettuce, radishes, mustard greens, onions, scallions, spinach, and about a dozen other delights from the garden. I've got fresh basil, rosemary, thyme. I just bought thyme yesterday at the market and planted that in my garden. Oh, yeah, I love to eat. I have fresh peppermint in that garden as well. I love my herbs, my fresh garden herbs as well. I love them, love them, love them, love them. Because I will confess, I love to eat. I do. And pretty soon I will have fresh zucchini, yellow squash. Oh, yeah. I love to grow, and then I love to eat what it is that I have been growing. I'm going to just take a moment here and hiccup my way through. And I do see you in the house for Africa One. She says, I thought melon was to be eaten alone due to its high water content. Therefore, I have avoided adding it to my regular fruit salad breakfast. I do use different melons. The watermelon, I think I do tend to agree with you that I don't eat the watermelon in my regular fruit salad because of that issue, the water content. But I'll be honest with you, I love to eat. And I love honeydew melon. I love cantaloupe. There's another melon, I can't think of the name right now. It's a Spanish melon, but I will eat that sucker up. I will add it to my salad, my fruit salad. I will add mango, banana, pecan. I love to eat. Extra kale, kale chips, of course, of course, of course. So that's going to go onto my agenda today. I agree with you 100%. And to my kale chips, oof, I'm going to be adding all of those spices. I add ginger powder. I add a little bit of paprika, a little bit of chili powder. I will add not curcumin, turmeric. I will add cumin. I will add garam masala. I will add nutritional yeast. I will add garlic powder, onion powder. I had about 16 different types. That was 9. I had about 16 different types of spices to these garlic or kale chips. And then I put them in my dehydrator. And ooh, the house is smelling so good. Why? Because I love to eat. I love, love, love to eat. Making myself hungry right now. I'm gonna start chewing on my keyboard. Just kidding. I love to eat, and I know you do too. You can probably tell that I love to eat. I love to take responsibility for my own food and its preparation. I bet that you like to eat as well. The last thing I want to say to you about my eating habits is this: don't do what I say, do what I do. And that's loving to eat. I'm going to take a second here. Because I talked myself into being hungry on that one. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to take a second here and expose you to some of the books on this topic of eating that I have amassed over here. And you know, my book on recipes, my book of recipes, I should say, Living Superfood Recipes, Volume 1. This is the original copy with the not for resale band around it. This was the print version of it. This book is loaded up. Let me just stop and tell you about eating. I'm going to show you some pictures here. Let me see if you can see these pictures. You see the picture right here? I know I'm a chroma key, so it's going to filter out all that. But that's my homemade trail mix. Let me just give you that recipe. If you don't mind, I'm going to give you 5 recipes from this book. So this one under stack. This is trail mix. Blend equal amounts of raw nuts and dried fruits. This includes pecans, almonds, walnuts, cashews, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, goji berries, raisins, dried cranberries, a half of that amount of coconut flakes, and if you want, you can blend into this a handful of broken multi-grain soy crackers. That's optional, but it's pretty doggone tasty. I'll usually add about a half a cup of each of these above ingredients. This is a wonderfully convenient road meal, and it stores very, very well. So that's my trail mix. And I'll be honest with you, I love to eat. I'm thinking I'm going to run down to the bulk food bin store, which is Winco, and get some of this, make this trail mix up today. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. You can get this as well. I encourage you to get this book if you haven't already had it. Living Superfood Recipes, Volume 1. This is the first of 3 volumes of the book that I put out. The first one, this one has the most recipes, 110. This volume 2 has 85 recipes in it, but I will say those recipes are a little bit more refined and advanced. This one here, I'm just kind of moving into this, and by the time I finished this book and moved into it and ready to come out with volume 2, I am a master. I'm a master in the kitchen. There ain't no doubt about it. I'm a master. I'm gonna give you 5 recipes from the book. This one here is undeniably one of my favorites. Get a pen and paper, everybody. This one is entitled, I don't know whether I should go with sprouted lentil soup or the African spicy sesame soup. Yeah, let's go with the African spicy sesame soup. This is what it's done. This is how you do it. And I have it right here. I should have maybe put these up in the browser. Let me see if I can do that real quick, because you do want to see what this looks like. So bear with me here. We're going to close this one out, and I'm going to pull up this and go into my raw food gallery. Where is you is? Here it is, right here. And then go into the gallery, and I'm going to type in spicy sesame soup. Didn't work. Let's try this again. African, there it is, right there, right there. Okay, so I'm going to open this one, and you're going to get an up close look at it. So open it, close that, and present this image file, share screen, and the image is right here on your screen right now. That is the African spicy sesame soup that I was talking about. Personally, yeah, it's all of that. African spicy sesame soup. So let me describe what is in this spicy sesame soup. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to grind 1 teaspoon each of coriander and cardamom seeds. Number 2, you add 1 tablespoon of cumin. You're going to add a half a cup of sesame seeds. Now, don't just put these in a random pot. We're going to tell you what order to put them all in. It has a half a cup of tahini in it, which is sesame seed butter. It has a half a cup of chopped tomatoes in it, 2 stalks of celery, finely chopped, 1-inch piece of fresh ginger, finely chopped, 2 cloves of chopped garlic, 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, yeah, it's spicy, 1 teaspoon of turmeric, and 1/4 cup of freshly cut corn, sweet corn. And that is, of course, freshly cut organic sweet corn. If you can't get freshly cut organic, get the frozen organic. It's better that you get organic rather than it fresh or not fresh. And 2, you're also going to add 1 teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. You can use untoasted sesame oil, but it's a much, much milder flavor. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to grind together the coriander and cardamom seeds in a grinder first. I use a coffee bean grinder. And then you're going to blend everything but the corn in a Vitamix or high-speed blender until smooth. You're going to pour it into a serving bowl and add a tablespoon of fresh corn right in the middle of the serving. Lightly dust with cayenne pepper to taste. Some prefer this soup with a little bit more cayenne, but this should be done on an individual taste business. Again, the original recipe I said called for a half a teaspoon of cayenne, and this is going to serve about 8 servings or so. So you figure it out. So that's going to be your spicy African sesame seed soup. And you can see I'm serving it here also with the with the bread. And let me go ahead and share with you the bread. Why not? It is really, really, really delish. And let me see, I've got the bread here in the back of the book. And this bread is black sesame sunflower seed bread. This is another raw menu. All of the menus in my first recipe book are raw. So this one you're going to add 1 cup of ground flax seeds, 1/3 of a cup of whole flax seeds, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 tablespoon of nama shoyu soy sauce, which is organic soy sauce, 1 clove of garlic minced, 2 tablespoons of yellow onion chopped, 1 1/3 cup of filtered water, 2/3 of a cup of soaked and drained sunflower seeds. And then you're going to add 1/4 cup of black sesame seeds. Place all of these ingredients into a food processor and coarsely chop the whole thing. Spread onto a 1/3 of an inch layer on a Teflex sheet and dehydrate for 4 hours at 110 degrees. You're going to flip it onto a dehydrator screen and continue dehydrating for another 3 to 4 hours, depending on, of course, your weather conditions and how much hydration there is in the air, until both the top and the bottom are dry, but the bread is still pliable. You're going to cut into slices and you're going to seal it in an airtight container. Refrigerate if you're going to be storing this for more than a day. The bread can be frozen and warmed in the dehydrator, but not in a microwave. Don't you dare microwave any of my food. No, 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 no. You can freeze it, warm it up in the dehydrator, and consume it at a later time. That is raw sesame sunflower, raw black sesame seed, sunflower seed bread. And that is really a excellent, excellent, excellent recipe. Oh, I am loving this. Let's go with a meatless wild taco mix, or meatless taco mix is what it's called. And let me see if I can find this. I can probably find this. Bear with me. I'm looking for wild rice taco mix. No, I'm not seeing this. Wild rice taco mix. And it's not coming up. Taco mix. Tell you what, let's not do the wild rice taco. Let's do a jackfruit taco mix. So I'm going to share this screen with you. I hope you don't mind. Hope you don't mind, because I love to eat. I love to eat. I love, 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 love to eat. Share the screen. And I'm sharing the window, and here it is right here. Add to the stage This is my world famous. This is an awesome dish. I'll be honest with you. Jackfruit and black beans taco. Jackfruit and wild beans taco. Now it's got essentially three separate elements in it. Number one, it has the jackfruit, which we will have to cook up separately. Two, it has pico de gallo in it. And three, it has black bean taco mix in it. And you're going to serve all of this in a organic taco shell. And this is an awesome, awesome, awesome dish. Now to make it, you're going to make the three components first. Let's begin with the black bean. That's easy. We're just going to take about a cup, maybe 2 cups of black beans, soak overnight. You're going to drain off the soak water and pour it out. And you're going to then take the beans and you're going to cook them all day. This is a patient dish. It's going to take about 6 hours of cooking of the beans before they're tender and ready to go into your food processor. And then you're going to put those beans in the food processor. I like to spice them up right then and there. So we're going to spice them with a little bit of sea salt, a little bit of nama shoyu, a little bit of cider vinegar, a little bit of about a half a teaspoon each of the following spices: chili powder, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, 21 seasonings, and a little bit of ginger powder can go in there as well. So that's your spicing for your bean filler. So that's, once that's processed up in a food processor, you're going to put that in a bowl and you're going to set it aside. The second thing you're going to add to this is pico de gallo. And the pico de gallo recipe is a little bit of it's not much of a challenge. It's lovely, lovely, lovely recipe. I think I have the pico de gallo right here. You're going to add, bear with me, pico de gallo. It's in here. I'm just trying to figure out whether it's in the snack section. Pico de gallo. Okay, here it is, I think. Pico de gallo, you're going to add 2 tomatoes, of which you skin and you take the seeds out. You chop it up. You're going to add to that 1 finely chopped red onion, 1 red bell pepper, finely chopped, the juice of 1 lime, 1 clove of garlic, finely minced, 2 stalks of celery, finely chopped, and a half a teaspoon of sea salt. So you're going to put all that together in a large mixing bowl, cover it, let it marinate for several hours so the flavors blend together. And then you serve, or you set it aside, I should say. And then we're going to prepare the jackfruit. In this one, the jackfruit, you're going to be preparing it by cutting up your jackfruit at first. Now, I use the part of the jackfruit, the chewy, stringy part. And I'll mix in with a little bit of the less stringy part. It's like the fruit. Some people only eat the fruit and throw the stringy part away. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. I will cook up that stringy part along with my favorite spices for about 5 hours. I'll cook it in a pot until it breaks down the texture of it and it resembles pulled pork. Yes, it does. So all of that is now completed. I have the three separate ingredients plus the taco shell. I will then put in the bottom of the taco shell. First, I put in a generous portion of the black bean paste. I will then top that with the not the jackfruit, with the jackfruit. And then I'll put on top of that some salsa or pico de gallo in this case, and top all of that with a little bit of lettuce mixed with a little bit of parsley, and then serve it all up. And let me tell you, it is incredibly tasty. I'll garnish the plate with some parsley leaves or some fresh salad greens, some spinach or whatever. And you put all of this on one plate, and you will be called a gourmet chef by the people who love to eat with you. And that is what we call that's what we call jackfruit taco salad. And there's different ways that you can do it. What it can do is you can be seen munching this, and I'm just going to show you the delight on my face as I am munching all of this. And this is one of our dinners that we're having over at the home. I think that's Nathan's elbow up to in the right hand corner, but I ain't thinking about Nathan's elbow. Personally, right now, I am thinking about, man, I sure love to eat. Yes, I do. And I bet you love to eat as well. Is that true? You tell me. Rhonda, I see you in the house. She says, Uja all. I also eat watermelon as a mono meal in the rising most often. I love to eat nutrient rich plant based food. I believe you, beloved. I believe you completely. And I hope you are enjoying the tour that I'm giving today of how we eat around here, where we love to eat. I have been reading from, and I didn't finish the chapter yet this morning as I was writing from early on as fast as I could write, but it takes a little while to write a chapter of a book. And this chapter of this book, I'm being very creative, so it takes a little bit more time to write. Now, I'm going to return to that and take you through my day as I was finishing up writing before. I was at the point where I was talking about my garden is now coming into play. My garden. Let's see if I can remember what all I have in my garden. I got a lot of stuff. I have radishes. I have kale. I have mustard greens. I have Swiss chard. I have, and I just planted it just a few days ago, I have arugula. Oh, I love some arugula. I love arugula. I have some onions. I have some garlic. I pulled garlic out of the kitchen and put it out in my garden. It's not growing overwhelmingly, but I do have a few. I did see a few garlic heads poking their little crowns above the soil. I have green leafy lettuce, which is actually called black seed lettuce. I have garden peas, I have snap peas, and I have pea pods. I am growing zucchini, yellow squash. I have some cucumbers which have reseeded themselves from out of the waste bin. Cucumbers are very, very hardy, and they will go through your composter, but they'll still be ready to grow. So I have cucumbers I'm going to be growing as well, carrots, spinach, red kale or red chard, as well as sweet basil. I have chives I'm growing. I have not only chives, but I also have scallions growing in my garden. I have peppermint in my garden and a bunch of other things. A whole bunch of food in the garden. I have mustard greens, kale, I'd mentioned that earlier, a lot of different foods. So there are probably about, I would say, probably about 40 different types of food growing in my garden right now. And I'm about to start a second set of beds. I'm going to grow these along the wall. So it's going to be a great harvest around here. That is what we do when we are in charge of our destiny. We are the masters of our fate. We are the captains of our soul. This is how we roll around here with living super food. Food is nature's most perfect medicine. Food is nature's most perfect medicine. Don't do what I say. Do what I do. And you know something? I find it's good for me to only talk about what I actually do, especially when it comes to food and nutrition. Do what I do, not what I say. We are near the roundup for today's show. We're going to go through, I said I was going to do 5 recipes. I think I did 4 or so. Let me do one recipe for dessert over here. I'm going to do a fruit delight recipe. Now, this is a little bit different from my fruit salad, even though let me give you this one instead. Avocado chocolate mousse. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is real easy. Your fruit avocado chocolate mousse is going to be made with a blender. It's so easy to make. You're going to take 2 large, ripe avocados. You're going to deseed them. You scoop out the seed. Another version of this recipe uses 1 avocado and 1 large banana. But in this particular case, we want the avocado. We want the richness. We want the fat. Yeah, we do. So you're going to use 2 large, ripe avocados. You're going to use a half a cup of agave nectar or slightly less than that of maple syrup. You can also make this recipe with honey or soaked and pitted medjool dates. But the agave is, for me, the most delicious. To which you're going to add 1 teaspoon vanilla extract. You're going to use 2 heaping tablespoons of cocoa powder, as well as 2 tablespoons of carob powder. Now, if you don't have carob powder, then just use 4 tablespoons of the cocoa powder. You're going to add 1/2 a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, a dash, just a dash of sea salt, and then you're going to add 1 tablespoon of maca powder. That's going to give it that that supercharged thing that you eat. They say, it's been said, that you eat chocolate as a form of an aphrodisiac. Well, in this particular case, we're going to add the maca, which is nature's aphrodisiac or aphrodisiac. So we're going to add all of that together. We're going to put all of these into a blender, high-speed blender, a Vitamix, or any other high-speed blender. You're going to blend it until it's smooth and the color is completely chocolate. I prefer to serve these in parfait cups along with fresh berries and mint leaves. This dish is extremely rich. So don't serve up too much at a time. It will turn off your appetite, undeniably so. So that is my recipe for creamy um, avocado chocolate mousse. It is awesome. And as I'm looking through these recipes, I see pomegranate cheesecake, coconut cream cheese. I'm seeing recipes for almond apple date cookies, flaxseed almond and pecan cookies. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This has got so many wonderful recipes in it. Chocolate date nut bars. I haven't made that in a long time. Almonds, walnuts, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, 5 soaked dates, 2 tablespoons of maple sugar, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of raw cane sugar, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 cup of coconut flakes to roll this all in. I'm going to make this today. I got to cocoa choco date nut bars. Oh my goodness gracious. Cocoa choco date nut bars. I wish I could show you a picture of this. Let me see if I can find a picture of this one to show to you. And you're sitting here watching me munching, watching me munch down on that. And I'm looking to add, here, bear with me. This is a dish that I am going to find this one, Cocoa Choco Date Nut Bars. Cocoa, Coco, Choco, Choco. And there's a coconut fudge. And there's the coconut haystacks. And there is my daughter, Maya, holding Cocoa Choco Date Nut Bars. Let me show you Maya along with this beautiful. And she reminds me, oh my goodness, my daughter is, to say the least, very precious. I know. Your daughters are very precious too. And I don't doubt you whatsoever. But this one, she belongs to me. And so bear with me, y'all, as I show off my Maya and her Cocoa Choco Date Nut bars, which I'll go ahead and show you the bars up close. They are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And I'm going to make them, but I am not going to share with you the recipe because, I mean, you heard it. Almonds, walnuts, sunflowers, sesame seeds, 5 soaked dates, 2 tablespoons each of maple syrup, honey, and raw cane sugar, cinnamon, vanilla extract, and then you wrap it all up in coconut flakes, roll it all up. You don't need that recipe. You just need to get to a store and get these ingredients and stop fooling around. Just get to these ingredients and put them all together. You're going to put this one in the dehydrator too, to where it firms up. Don't need it a whole lot. And you are going to eat. So, like Rhonda, she says, I love to eat nutrient rich, plant based food. I agree with you, beloved. Like my sister for Africa One writes, she said, recipes, she says, what books are those recipes from? Are you a fan of Brazil nuts? Yes, 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 yes. I love me some Brazil nuts. I have, I don't recall you mentioning them in any of your books. I don't really mention them too much. I meant the first 2 books. And in the third book, which is cooked recipes. But no, I love me some Brazil nuts. Love them, love them, love them. Of all my favorite nuts, I think Brazil nuts might be my favorite. So I am negligent for mentioning them. I do agree. We eat a lot of almonds. We love almond milk, almonds in all kind of dishes. I use almonds for pie crust. I will use Brazil nuts in a mix, and I think I will add them to my living superfood trail mix that I'm going to make today. Brazil nuts are expensive, but they are absolutely wonderful. My grandfather used to call them the N-word toast. I don't know why he called them that, but I guess that's what they called them back in them days. They didn't look like our toes to me. Praise be his eternal name. My grandfather was such a beautiful, delightful human being. He was absolutely wonderful. Yeah, that's what you say about your grandfather, too. So, on that note, for Africa One, for you, Basuranda, I am grateful to have you. I am grateful to know you. And we are truly, truly a grateful people. If you did enjoy listening to your brother talk and talk and talk and talk and talk today, then I'm going to ask if you could step up and purchase a book. I have just finished, completed, and released the new book, A Year Against Cancer with Living Superfood Solutions. A Year Against Cancer with Living Superfood Solutions. It's out. I put a lot of work into it. It looks gorgeous. In fact, if you want to see it right now, I've got it on my desktop along with, believe it or not, 7 books that have come out since December. This is a beautiful collection of my books. And the one on the top is A Year Against Cancer with Living Superfood Solutions. I also have in the stack, I have Quantum Advancement, Spectacular Discoveries Along the Magnificent Journey. I have Living Superfood Solutions, Dietary Strategies to Prevent and Reverse Common Chronic Diseases. I have on my desktop Disaster Preparedness for World Wars 5 and 6. Oh my gosh, that's a serious, serious subject right now. We've got to get prepared. It's a disaster coming. I have the Stem Cell Revolution, a holistic approach to stem cell activation and regenerative therapy. I have The African Future is up on my desk. The African Future is all about empowering a united and prosperous Africa for future generations. And I have on my desk this, The Standard Omission, the African Scientific Roots of Greco-Roman Medicine. This is a history book. Dang. And now you are witnessing with today is probably the last live broadcast on this new book, Suicide the Movie, after which I'm taking a break, at least for a couple of months, because I've got to get the second half of the books, the year's books together. It's going to be what are we going to do with Christmas? This has to be my first priority because that book needs to be out before Christmas comes. And I'm going to be completing the Rebirth of Love, Rebuilding the Black Family and Community. Very, very important. And I'm also going to be completing a third book, which is probably The Queer Empire, how a sinister group is plotting to take over the world. I call it the Queer Empire, and it's going to be radical. It's not going to be what you think it is. It is not going to be what you think it is. It is going to be a warning about something that is actually happening right now. So I think those are the three books that I have. someone else had asked me a couple of times, when is my book called Futurenomics 2.0 going to be out? I am not going to be rushing that one out. I think that one, to a large extent, was covered with the book, The African Future. So there's no need for me to have to duplicate that one so quickly. I may have a distinctive set of studies that will be coming out relative to that one, but I don't know that for very certain. And I did just buy a book, Bad Pharma: How Drug Companies Mislead Doctors and Harm Patients. Bad Pharma. So I do buy other people's books as well. So I'm not asking you to buy my books, and I don't support other authors. But what I don't appreciate about the book is the authors just crammed too much information into too few pages here. I can appreciate it, but the author, I just don't like books like this where it's just page after page after page after page. He doesn't even use footnotes, he uses endnotes. So all of the notes are confined to the end of the book. And to me, you're better off using bullet lists and other type of things like this to break it up, make it easier to read. So I started reading this one, How Drug Companies Mislead Doctors and Harm Patients, Bad Pharma. Do recommend this book. It is a good book, but it's not written very well, if you can imagine that. But my new book is out now. It's A Year Against Cancer with Living Superfood Solutions. And I'm going to put up the link to it, copy here, and I'm going to post this link up in my comment section for today's research. And you can get this book. You can get it on Amazon as a Kindle. You can get it from me, and I will autograph this one personally to you. And you can get the book from, oh, I just put up the links. Yeah, here it is. You can get the book from my page. You can get a signed, not pre-sale, but an authored copy. And I will be glad to put that book right in the mail to you. Somebody out there, you're going to feel me. You're going to know by now that I am serious. I am sincere. We've come a long way. We've got so much further to go on this magnificent journey of ours as we travel around this beautiful sun on this water-covered pearl of a planet that we know as Mother Earth. We are a grateful people, and we are grateful for each and every one in our lives. You've been tuned into LIB Radio, LIB TV, and livinginblack.com. You've been tuned into what we aim to be as your favorite broadcast. Tell your friends to tell their friends that we have our own now. We have come a long way, and we have got so much further to go on this journey around the sun. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you on LIB Radio, LIB TV, and on livinginblack.com.